Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from Local Moment 4782 and says, am I the arsehole for not cooking fancier meals? I'm the one who cooks in our house. It's just four of us, my husband, me, and my daughter and little brother. My husband is 27 and I'm 25. My husband barely knows how to make eggs, even though I've tried to talk to him constantly about learning how to cook. My daughter and brother are still in elementary school, so they only help me cook. The responsibility falls on me and it's honestly exhausting. So I just set up a system in my head. It's easy. For breakfast, it's just something with eggs or cereal. Lunch is some sort of sandwich, burger, or leftovers. Dinner is the meal I usually plan, but I have like 10 dishes I repeat. Sometimes I go off, especially Sunday, but generally I stay because it's easier for me mentally. But one day I just made pasta alfredo with chicken, and as we were eating, my husband mentions that it would be nice if I made fancier dishes. I asked him what he meant, and he explained that he wants me to change things up. Add some more meat dishes and variety. Next time we went out shopping and I was putting ingredients. I don't usually buy into the cart. As the ingredients started piling up, my husband was getting all puffy and upset. We got to the meat aisle and I started picking out beef, and that's when my husband lost it and started taking things out of the cart, saying that we can't afford my fancy living. I blinked at him and tried to explain that he was the one who asked for variety in different dishes, so I'm buying different ingredients. He rolled his eyes and told me that I'm being dramatic. I just let him do his thing, taking out most of the ingredients out. The next week I made the same dishes because that's all I had ingredients for. A week passed and my husband was all pouting that I made fried rice again and that he's sick of chicken. When I pointed out that he took all the beef out of the cart, he blew off on me again and said I'm being an arsehole because he doesn't know how to cook. Am I the arsehole? Absolutely not the arsehole, the cheeky bastard. He's created a no-win situation for you where he's going to complain about the food, won't learn to cook, asking for a variety of dishes, and then throws a tantrum about the cost. And then of course, when he's put all these ingredients away and you can't create these fancy dishes that he wants, he gets angry at you for it. This whole shit of he doesn't know how to cook, he's refusing to learn how to cook. Anyone can learn to cook. YouTube will teach you the basics if you need it. I learned how to fix the pipe on the toilet the other day. Very proud of myself. I know it's very simple, but shout out to Plumber Guy on YouTube. Taught me the way. Learning the basics really isn't that difficult, but a commenter says, the thing that bothers me is that he complains about something then gets angry when you try to do what he wants. When you point that out, he gets angry at you. It sounds like he just wants to be angry at you. It's so bizarre. Not the arsehole. Another commenter says she let him get away with not cooking and that went to his head and he got entitled. Next time OP needs to nip any unfairness like that in the bud right away so it doesn't get this far. He's the father of a child. Not knowing how to cook isn't a thing anymore. If you're a single person, sure, but that excuse no longer applies when you have mouths to feed. Another commenter says not the arsehole. I would stop cooking for his grace, the Duke of minimum effort for a while. Possibly forever. Just feed yourself and your kids. Your foods aren't good enough for Sir requireth all, so why bother? Reginald Expectington III can learn to cook for himself, unless he is mentally impaired somehow. Tell him that you're very excited to taste his beef Wellingtons and nicely seared halibuts. I absolutely despise people who are about as useful as a handful of dirt, yet act all entitled and shit on people who take care of them. Not the arsehole, not the arsehole, not the arsehole. The absolute gall. Another commenter says, husband of 42 years here with a word for your man. Son, grow up and help with your family. Learn to cook. It isn't difficult to do the basics. Cooking is fun, creative, rewarding, and might save your marriage. That, and quit being an ass. Opie added some comments of their own and says, I mean, he's a big boy engineer and he's really smart. I don't think he has a learning disability. Another comment says, he's a mama's boy and I realized I just kind of allowed this behavior to continue. He's the oldest of 8 boys and his mum is a boy mum type. So I had to teach him how to take care of himself after we got married, and now the last challenge is cooking. Another commenter says, yes, I work part-time from home. I don't mind cooking honestly, and he does everything else. He does laundry mostly. We can both clean the house equally. He grew up with a boy mum, and it's been taking me the past 4 years of our relationship to kind of unravel that. We're minimal contact because she berates me for not making him a big lunch and doing his laundry. Another comment from OP, their relationship is so strange. He's going through therapy right now and we're on minimal contact with her. She constantly harasses me like I'm competition. His father is a deadbeat, and his therapist explained that his mother might be subconsciously using my husband as a stand-in. I wouldn't recommend this situation to anyone, but I really do love my husband, so I'm happy to work through this. OP said again, so it took a bit of talking to him before he confessed that he heard his best friend talk about how they have a steak a few times a week. My husband is upset because he would like to eat that, but he knows we can't afford it right now. He also said that he's stressed from some house issues that happened recently. We bought a house last year and the furnace had to be replaced a few months ago, for example. He's been handling all these problems, and I honestly didn't even realize he's been so stressed. Not that it justifies his actions, of course, and I told him so. Then it was about a month after that, OP came in with an update and says, I'm still in shock at the way the post blew up. I honestly was just to prove a point to my husband, and that post definitely did that and more. So when I showed him the post, he was shocked, angry for a minute, but then read a few comments, then turned off his phone and acted like it didn't bother him. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the evening, and at night I woke up to him reading the comments again, but just went back to sleep. I didn't mention it, and the next morning he was still not really talking much. That evening for dinner, when we sat at the table, he finally brought up the post. He asked me if I agreed with what the comments said. I just shrugged and said that yes, I agreed with some. He was quiet after that, and while we were cleaning up, he apologized for his behavior. Then a few days later, he asked if we could start making dinner together every night. It was a bumpy road at first, but honestly after a week, we started enjoying it, and now a few weeks later he's gotten much better and even made a few meals himself. The reason behind his behavior, he admitted, was because his mother has been trying to contact him lately. It's been stressing him out, and one time when she called him, she started talking trash about me. What else is new? And kept mentioning that I'm not feeding him well enough, that he was much happier when he was eating her food. Honestly, I don't even know what she was trying to do. My husband apologized for it and said he likes my cooking, but let her words get to him. He's talking to his therapist about all this. That's really it. A lot of people asked for an update or for his reaction, lol, but there wasn't much. He handled it a lot better than I hoped. He even started joking about some of the comments a few weeks ago, and it's become somewhat of an inside joke. Thank you, Reddit, for helping us through this. Life is good. Hope you all have a good dinner tonight. OP adds in the comments, I should have specified that we're very low contact because of how toxic she is. He had her blocked, but she got another number and contacted him again. He did admit he should have blocked her right away, but he's figuring that out with his therapist. Again, OP says there was no logic, lol, just him lashing out in frustration with everything. And the final comment from OP says, not that easy because she disapproves of anything I do. She hates how I'm raising our child. She claims that she's my child's favorite person, which is far from the truth. When she was in our life, she was always making sure I take care of her baby. She hated my healthy dishes and always brought over lots of bread and dry dishes full of carbs because I'm trying to starve my husband. It's literally just that I make balanced meals. She would toss out the food I made if I wasn't there, and I could go on and on about how she treated me in public. It's exhausting. It's put a strain on our marriage. My husband was lost and didn't know what to do. Life is much more peaceful when she's out of it. And as always, we got some mixed comments below this one. Some people, saying it's good that he's making some kind of effort now and that they're on the right track. Other people, you're saying, fuck the husband basically. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Pleasant Mango 777, and it says, am I the arsehole here for blowing up at my son's father and grandmother when I found out they trashed my son's formula and pacifiers? So I, 20 female, live with my boyfriend, 28 male, and his parents. Despite being on birth control, our son is an oops baby. He came early at 36 weeks. I was scared shitless by the labor and delivery nurses telling me that he would need NICU time. He didn't, and he was just overall small, and I ended up with a second-degree tear due to him being sunny side up, and now almost 7 weeks later, it still hurts to sit down and move certain ways. I still have back pain from where they placed the epidural. My recovery hasn't been easy. My stitches are healing well for the most part, and I'm going to get an IUD placed to have a more permanent type of birth control. Because even after being on birth control pills for 2 years, they aren't 100% pregnancy proof. Since my son was born early, the nurses gave him formula at first. I really didn't care. I just wanted my son to be healthy and be able to come home. My son's father and boyfriend and his family have pushed me to breastfeed all through my pregnancy. It wasn't ever something that really crossed my mind. My goal was just to have a healthy baby, and we both survive. The hospital also gave us a pacifier, and my son's grandma said that pacifiers were just a crutch that babies didn't need, and I was setting him up to have teeth problems and need braces later on. I tried pumping with a hospital-grade pump, and it hurt. I tried breastfeeding my son, but it hurt, and a lactation consultant at the hospital said I would struggle with breastfeeding due to my anatomy and the fact that my son has tongue tie. I just said, okay, whatever, let's give him formula. My son's father's family, especially his mum, were not happy about it. While I'm up changing diapers and bottle feeding my son, she's also up and in my ear telling me how breast is best and you never know what's exactly in formula. Spoiler alert, she breastfed my son's father and his 3 siblings. So I guess it's like some sort of pride thing for her. I don't know. She was the same way with my boyfriend's sister when she had her kids. My son's father even said one time it would be hot to see me breastfeed, and to be honest, that just gave me the ick so bad. I haven't gone back to work yet, despite me applying to jobs left and right, so whatever my son's father brings in with his paychecks is how I'm surviving right now. It's been tough, and I have to pretty much justify how I spend his money. Why did I spend so and so at Walmart? Our son needed diapers, wipes and formula. A can only lasts so long. Well, why can't you start back breastfeeding to save money? I don't want to. Our son is happy and healthy and thriving on formula. My son's father won't even make him bottles because he thinks it's unnatural when I supposedly can just magically make breast milk appear again. My son had an appointment this morning to check his weight with the pediatrician because while he is gaining weight, it's been slow and he's been spitting up the formula. Ended up being gone for longer than I wanted to because the pediatrician's office was running behind. When I got back to the house, I went to make my son a bottle and found the formula canister empty. My son is crying for his milk and I asked his father what happened to the formula can because it was still half full. He just shrugs and goes, "It looked old, so I threw it out." I asked him why he would do such a fucking stupid thing, and he yelled at me not to talk to him that way. Then his mum came into the kitchen and yelled at me for disrespecting her son. I had to grab the formula can out of the trash can and saw all of the dumped formula powder just sitting there along with my son's pacifiers, all mixed in with the garbage. At this point, my son's grandma picked him up and was trying to console him because he was getting upset. She started backing up my son's father, saying the formula he's on always looks expired and old and gross. I ended up yelling, "Oh my god," and called my son's father selfish and shitty for wasting something so important. It ended up with his mum yelling at me to get out of her house, and she refused to give my son as he was crying. I lost it on her and screamed at her, "Give me my fucking baby." And she threatened to call the police on me for verbally abusing her and physically abusing my son. I ended up leaving with my son to a friend's house and thankfully had a sample can of his formula stashed away in the diaper bag I keep in my car, along with the 2 sample cans the pediatrician's office gave me today. Both my son's father and grandma have texted me, asking me to come back and saying I shouldn't have been so dramatic and that my son's father was just trying to be careful. He wasted the baby's food and put my son in a difficult situation, and he doesn't even get it. Neither does his mum since she's backing him up on this. They are both making me feel so guilty. I'm just trying to keep my son alive. I ended up calling my mum to talk to someone about this whole mess, and she agreed with my son's grandma about how I should have breastfed. Or at least use donor milk. Lol. But she also said I'm the mum and can make my own decisions about my son. I asked her if we could stay with her for a couple of days, and my mum said she just didn't have room for us, which is fair. She has my 4 younger siblings living with her as it is. I feel so mad and frustrated. I'm literally on hold with my son's pediatrician to see if they can give me any more sample cans before I go back to my son's father's house. Am I the arsehole here for getting mad over formula being trashed, or was my son's father in the right here? Edit. My friend loaned me enough cash to get my son a can of formula, thank God. My son's pediatrician office never picked up, so I left a message for the receptionist, and I'm hoping they will get back to me before they close. I can only stay with my friend for maybe a couple of days because I don't have anything beyond what's in the diaper bag for my son. I'm going to apply for WIC and SNAP benefits and see if a lawyer will help me get sole custody of my son. I'm not married to his father, and I really don't want to go back to his mum's house if I don't have to. I should have grabbed some of my own stuff, but I was so angry I just wanted to get out of there. Going back to playing phone tag and trying to help to get us out of this situation. Huge thank you to the Redditor who helped me with finding resources in my country and offered to help with stuff like diapers for my son so we don't have to go back to his dad and grandma's. I have a lot of places to call tomorrow to hopefully get the ball rolling. Holy red flags, Batman. They're all over the place in this one story. I mean, the control, manipulation, and just downright trying to sabotage a new mum, trying to care for her baby in the best way possible. I mean, it's pretty much straight away the 28-year-old dating a 20-year-old he's living with his mum and she's pregnant. I was thinking, I wonder how long they've been together, etc. And the breast is best bullying, breastfeeding works for many people, and that's absolutely fantastic, but it doesn't work for everyone. As we said before in these stories, fed is best. I told you a story a long time ago about someone I knew who went for an absolutely traumatic time with breastfeeding and made to feel like they weren't enough because they wasn't able to do it because of the pain they was going through. Was made to feel that they weren't enough, that they were failing their child because they wasn't able to breastfeed, and it was absolutely horrific. Then we got the financial abuse side, making her justify every penny she's spending for their baby's needs while sabotaging it and throwing away that formula at the same time. And then you got the mother-in-law backing this all up at the same time and controlling and manipulating in the background. It's just a whole bunch of red flags. Absolutely scary, especially for a 20-year-old to be dealing with this at the same time. Don't walk away from this. Run. This isn't going to change anytime soon. The commenter says to OP, not the arsehole, and this is abuse on them. I'm going to guess that they are religious too. Go to their pastor and his wife to sort this out. When the doctor and mum, you agree it's nobody else's business. OP says they are very religious. My boyfriend's mum wouldn't even throw me a baby shower because we weren't married and my son is considered a bastard. I can't wait to be given the okay to go back to work. Once a job actually calls me back and I can find a daycare spot for my son so I can move out. I'm so tired of living with every single one of my choices being under fire or questioned like I just didn't give birth. Given the fact my own mother kicked me out, it was either living with my boyfriend and his mum or just being homeless while pregnant. Another commenter says, do not go back. Go to your parents' house. Opie says, I didn't have a parents' house to go back to. My dad is listed as unknown on my birth certificate, and my mum kicked me out when I told her I was pregnant because she has my younger siblings to take care of. It was either living with my boyfriend and his mum or just being homeless while pregnant. Working on finding a more permanent shelter since we can only stay with my friend for a day or two at most. Yeah, and I forgot to mention OP's bio mum in this as well, and she's kicking her daughter out because she got pregnant. It's just like, oh, dearie me. Absolutely surrounded by awful people, apart from the friend who took her in, obviously. But continuing in the comments, Muffin Fairy says, nope, all around. Read back what you wrote to yourself. You're trying to keep your son alive and they do not share that priority. His mother refused to give you your child and was delusional enough to threaten to call the police on you. The age gap is extremely concerning and the father is a complete creep himself. They're groomers and will push that mindset onto your son if he is raised by them. You need to get your baby out of that environment permanently. Now. Do not let them near him again. Another commenter says, OP, these psychos try to starve your baby. Your baby's father tried to starve his own son. Think about that. They willingly destroyed his formula, knowing that breastfeeding wasn't an option. You need to get away from these pieces of shit. Can you stay with a friend or family? These people are not safe for you or your child to be around. Another commenter says, everyone says get a lawyer. This is great advice. I know sometimes the first thought is it's too expensive. If you're in the US, there is legal aid in every state who can help you. This will be low or no legal cost with a lawyer who can help you. They deal with situations like this every day and can help you navigate this. They also usually have resources to help you find housing or point you in the right direction of a shelter. Also, if you're in the US, reach out to your local WIC office. They can help with food, etc. Please look at the right side of this page I've linked. It will help you find an organization near you. If they're not near you, they will usually have a helpline that can connect you with one of their attorneys or a local pro bono attorney who works with them. Please use these resources to find a way out of this. My youngest daughter is your age, and I can't imagine this happening to her. And that commenter shared a link to lsc.gov. The OP does come in with an update and says, "Hi everyone, I know a lot of people wanted an update. Things haven't exactly gotten better, but they haven't gotten much worse, so here's an update for those who wanted it. I don't have a parent's home to go back to for those telling me to go back to my mum's or dad's. My dad is listed as unknown on my birth certificate, and my mum kicked me out when I told her I was pregnant because she has my younger siblings to take care of. It was either living with my boyfriend and his mum or just being homeless while pregnant. I didn't think my son's father and grandmother would screw me over so badly like this though. My son's pediatrician office did call me back yesterday morning. I couldn't get through to anyone Wednesday afternoon, and I was able to go in and they gave me a list of resources. Most I already knew about, like WIC and SNAP, but they also gave me the number to a woman's shelter in my area. I live really rural, so there's only one that was listed. I gave them a call, explained my situation, and they asked if I was in any immediate danger. I said no. I'd left with my son, and she asked if I planned on going back, and I said no. She asked if any physical abuse had happened, and I told her that my son's grandma refused to give him to me until I started yelling, but she said that didn't count because it wasn't physical. She also said I couldn't keep my son away from his father, but my son's father and grandmother haven't tried contacting me since Wednesday when I left. She gave me the number of legal aid in my county and to complete the eligibility application, and she would contact me when a spot opens up at the shelter. This was yesterday, and I've tried calling this morning with no luck on getting anyone on the phone. My son's pediatrician's office also gave me all of their newborn and size 1 diapers they had in stock and another sample can of formula for him. For those saying I need to get a job, get a lawyer, save money, I know that. I just got cleared to go back to work at my 6-week postpartum checkup. My last job was working as a cashier at a gas station and I only made $9 an hour. I've applied to jobs, but I can't make anyone hire me on the spot. If it weren't for my friend loaning me money to get my son a full canister of formula, he would be surviving off of sample cans I can get in the diaper bag and what the pediatrician gave me on Wednesday. My friend let us crash with her from Wednesday night until today. Her roommate comes back home and I don't blame them for not wanting me and my newborn to sleep on their couch. I'm trying to convince my mum to let us come crash with her until the shelter can find us a bed, but I don't think that's going to work out either. I filled out the eligibility application for legal aid yesterday, and I'm really hoping I hear something back soon. I tried calling custody lawyers after Googling them, and out of the few I spoke to, only one was considered low fee, but they wanted a deposit of over $1,000, which I don't have, and I'm terrified of my son's father using his mother's money to get custody of my son and keep him away from me. One really kind person here on Reddit offered to get my son diapers and wipes so I wouldn't have to go through what little I had in the diaper bag. I also got a lot of really weird and some downright hateful messages too. Yes, I know I shouldn't have had a kid at 20. Yes, I should have kept my legs closed. And a lot of you have some really strong preferences for breastfeeding. It just wasn't something I felt I could do. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I literally never thought my son's grandmother and his father would act like lunatics over this. No, I'm not giving up my son for adoption. No, I'm not dropping him off at the firehouse. I'm doing the best I can under these circumstances. I plan on applying for all the government help I can get once I have a permanent place to lay my head. I've been running off fumes and trying to wrap my head around everything. I'm still in shock over it all, and I know I need to get sole custody of my son and keep him away from his dad and grandmother. It's not like I can start lactating again at 7 weeks postpartum, but boy did I get a lot of messages telling me I didn't try hard enough or didn't care about my son because I fed him formula. I keep staring at my phone, waiting for the shelter to call to say they have a spot for us. I feel so bad for my son that this is what his life is like, and I'm angry at myself for everything too. I'm hoping I can get the ball moving on getting assistance and getting a lawyer and finding something more stable for us soon. I know it isn't much of an update, but I know a lot of people were concerned and asking for one. I'll try to update again when I have better news to share. Edit, you guys, I'm doing everything I can here. I cannot make a lawyer take my case if I don't have the funds for a deposit. I can't make a shelter worker take us if they don't have space. I can't go to a different county for shelter or resources when I have nothing but my son's diaper bag and my purse to my name. I have people in my inbox telling me I should have my son taken away from me and I should go to jail for leaving his father and grandmother's house for crying out loud. I called a shelter in the next county to mine and left a voicemail, and now I'm calling churches for help too. I'll be grateful for a hotel room just for the weekend. I'm doing everything I can in my power, and some are just being downright mean and shitty. It's not like I wanted to be in this situation at all in the first place at all. Edits, I made a GoFundMe for those who want to help after like 4 or 5 people suggested it. I'm getting it up and running now, but thank you to all those who have been kind to me. I can't post the GoFundMe link because Reddit keeps removing it, but I will send it to you if you ask for it. Please know I really appreciate it. I can't wait to put this situation behind us. I'm now halfway to my GoFundMe goal and I really can't believe it. Holy moly, thank you so much everyone. Every little bit helps. Someone says to OP that they need to get a lawyer ASAP. OP says I'm waiting to hear back from legal aid for a free lawyer. The one I did call asked for a deposit of over $1,000 and I have absolutely nothing to my name right now. I'm hoping I hear back from legal aid and the shelter soon because I really don't know what else I'm going to do. I don't want my son going back to the house unless he just has to because of custody reasons or whatever. Another commenter says, do you have a court-ordered custody agreement? I'm assuming no, and if that's the case, there should be no legal obstacle to you relocating with your son to access resources, housing, women's shelter, food, or a job. Please call other shelters away from your area to see if there is room. You are in danger of imminent homelessness and are without resources. Don't downplay your situation when on an intake call. Hooper says no court-ordered custody agreement or anything like that. I called one of the shelters in the county next to mine and left voicemail and called my own county shelter again to see if they found a spot for us yet. No luck, but I'm going to keep trying. I really wasn't sure if it was okay to not leave my county, but it's good to know I shouldn't get in trouble if I do. And that's currently where OP is at. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. And hopefully I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.